Hello, my name's Lee Goldsmith from LG Photographics. I'm a photographer from Surrey in the United Kingdom. Today I'm going to show you how I go about processing raw photos in Adobe Lightroom 4. Today's photograph is one of the Tate Modern Gallery in London. This used to be Bankside Power Station years ago. The photo was taken from the Millennium Bridge. As you can see, it's quite a dark photo. I've exposed it so that it brings out the details in the sky. So now what I want to do is just enhance the rest of the photo. So first of all, I'm going to lower the highlights down to -100. And increase the shadows up to +100, which will bring out the details out of the shadows. I'm now going to look at the whites and the blacks. Now to adjust these, I normally hold down the Alt key and then drag the slider to the right until you start to see some pixels. These pixels, when they appear, indicate burnt out or areas with loss of detail. So I'll just back that back down slightly so it's just a few pixels showing. And now I'll do the same with the black, but move it down to the left hand side. It's quite a dark photo as it is. I quite like dark contrasty photos, so I won't bring that down too much, otherwise it will get too dark. Right, next thing I'm going to do is I want to put a gradient filter on the sky. So to do that, click on the gradient button and click and drag that down sort of to the skyline. Now the top area will be darker than the bottom area, so I'm just going to drag the exposure button slider down to about -60. That's darkened up the sky there and brought out details a bit. And I'm just going to bring the colour temperature down to the left to cool it down and make it a bit more blue. Okay, that's quite good. Click on done there. Next thing I'm going to do is I just want to brighten up this building more and make it stand out more. So to do that, I'm going to use the brush tool. And when I use the brush tool, I normally select the auto mask button so that when you're brushing it only selects pixels of the same colour. And if you press O or click on this checkbox here, it will show you in red where you're basically brushing. Okay, so just brush the chimney there. And then press O to remove that mask overlay. And I'm just going to bring the shadows up 100 and the exposure up a little bit as well, not too bright. And I'm going to increase the clarity just to bring out the details of the brickwork. Now the brickwork's gone a bit of an odd colour. It's not quite right, it's more of a browny reddy colour, so I'm just going to warm up using the temperature slider and move that to the right, and I'm just going to add a tint of pink as well to give those bricks a little bit more of a reddy brown colour. I want to do the same with the rest of the building as well, but I'm going to create a new brush for each adjustment I want to make, so that if I later on want to change any of those settings I've made, I can do them independently. If you just did everything on the one brush, you wouldn't be able to change various areas. You'd end up changing the whole area that you've used the brush tool on. So I'm just going to go around the building, don't have to be too precise, and do the same as what I did with the chimney. So I'm just going to increase that to 100 on the shadows, increase the exposure slightly, warm it up, and add a bit of pink tinge. That's looking more like it. I'm just going to increase the clarity as well to bring out that detail a little bit more. And I just want to do the same thing again on this glass work across the roof here. That's a nice sort of greeny blue colour generally, and I just want to make that stand out and be a little bit more vibrant than what it is at the moment. Just go over that a bit more. There we go. Now incidentally, any areas that you might have brushed by accident that you don't want touched, I've done it slightly along the edge of the brickwork here. It's not really an issue, but if you want to undo some of the brushwork, if you press the Alt button, it changes the brush to a minus sign, and then you can remove, rebrush back over what you want to remove, and it'll take it away. Okay, I'm just going to increase the exposure on this a little bit and the clarity, and I'm just going to add a little bit of saturation just to make the colour stand out a bit more. Okay, that's good. And then I think one more brush just along the front of the riverbank here, because that's also a little bit dark, just where these trees are in front of the gallery. Just going to raise the shadows there a little bit and the exposure a fraction, and just increase the saturation a tiny bit to bring out a bit more green on that grass. Okay, that's looking okay so far. Right, I think I'm done with the brushes for the time being. Next thing I want to do is get rid of this object in the water, which I think is quite distracting. So I'm going to use the spot removal tool. I'm going to use it in the heal mode. You can use it in clone or heal. For the purpose I'm using it for now, I think the heal option is better. And you basically click the area you want to heal, and then you drag the circle to choose the area that you want to heal with. Let's have a look how that looks. Yeah, that looks okay. Super. I just want to enhance the River Thames a little bit. It looks a bit dark and murky, which isn't too unusual for the Thames, but I want to try and make it look a little bit more appetising. Obviously don't want to go too over the top, so I'm just going to use the brush tool again to select the area that I want to change, and then I'm just going to, I think all I'll do is just increase the shadows just to lighten it slightly, increase the clarity, and I'm just going to cool the temperature down just to make the water a little bit bluer. Not too much, we don't want it to look like a swimming pool, but just enough so it actually looks like it's reflecting the colour of the sky in the water. Okay, that's looking okay so far. Now what I want to do now is, because I shot this with my 17 to 85 lens, it was shot at 17mm, so it's its widest angle, which causes a bit of lens distortion. So I'm just going to, under the lens corrections, just going to click on this enable profile corrections. And what that will do is, see how the image straightened out there. It automatically picks up the lens profile from your camera lens. If it doesn't, then you can click and manually select them. There's obviously a load of different manufacturers there and even more lenses to choose from. So let's straighten the image out. If I deselect it and then reselect it, you can see that change. Now something else you may have noticed is this purple and green fringing on the verticals. That's called chromatic aberration, which you sometimes get, and that is an easy fix. Also under the lens corrections, if you click on the colour and then just click on this remove chromatic aberration box, and there it is, gone. Simple. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is, the sun was actually setting when I took this photograph, and the sky to the right was starting to get a nice sort of orangey, pinky colour, and the clouds as well, but that doesn't really show in this photograph. So I'm going to try and get that back by cheating a little bit and using the brush tool again. I'm just going to sort of brush over some of the clouds and just going to increase the temperature to warm that up, give it a bit of a more sort of yellowy sunset feel, and just going to add a bit of pink tint to it as well. Just to enhance that look. One thing I need to do is just need to increase the flow of my brush, because it's not, that's coming out a bit too strong now, so I need to just back that down. But you see what I'm doing here, just selecting bits of the cloud. You don't need to go too crazy with this, because it will start to look a little bit artificial if I haven't done so already. But I think you'll like the outcome when it's finished. It's just important to take a little bit of time doing this so that you don't start filling in the whole sky with this colour. Just trying to get the clouds really, just so it looks like the sunset colour is reflecting off the clouds. Almost done. A few bits here. Okay, and I'm just going to do this portion of the sky, just sort of, yeah, that's quite good actually. That's pretty much how I remember it looking. I'm just going over the front of this glasswork here as well, just to make it look like the sun is actually reflecting off that glass as well. And I might even just, I don't like that, I've gone too far there. Let's just reduce the brush size. Okay, what I might do as well is just add a little bit of that colour to the water. Yeah, that's too much. I just need to bring the flow down. That's basically controls the power of the brush you're using. So just bring the flow down, and you see it's not quite as harsh. I think that looks pretty good actually. Quite pleased with how that's come out. Just erase a little bit there. Okay, yeah, I think that's okay, I think. Right, there's not much left to do on that now. I think the couple more things I want to do is just have a play with the sharpening, just to make it nice and sharp. Now the risk with sharpening is that you make the photograph quite noisy, so what I normally do is just click on the Alt, press the Alt button again, and then click and drag the masking and mask out the areas I don't want to sharpen. So basically the higher up you go, the more it will mask out. Basically the black areas won't be masked, and the white areas, sorry, the black areas won't be sharpened and the white areas will be. So this should sort of mask or sharpen the outline of the building and the details. I'm just going to bring that up to about 80, and I think that looks quite sharp. Just noticed there's just a little black, well, it's actually a plane just there in the background, but I want to get rid of that because that's just looks like a speck or a dust spot. Get rid of that also with the spot removal tool. And there's also another one there, but I'll keep that one in, I think. Okay, last couple of things I want to do now is just increase the overall vibrance of the photo to really make it stand out. Not too much, but that's giving it a nice sort of vibrant feel without it getting too contrasty. And then finally I'm just going to draw the viewer's eye into the main subject of the photo by adding a post-crop vignette. Nothing too big because it will make the corners of the photo quite dark, but around about -15, that looks pretty good to me. So let's have a look at what we've done. So this is how we started. Very dark, not very interesting to look at, and this is how we've ended up. Okay, hope you like it, and I hope you found the tutorial useful. Thanks very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.